Hello, dear RGL friends, family, welcome. I am your Retro Gaming Idol once again, and we are back with day 2 going into day 3 of RGL. I paused the feed, don't worry, it's fine. It's not gonna go anywhere. Just letting you know that this is a marathon where we donation server costs taken care of. A little bit of merch, a little bit of stuff all around, just like stuff to keep our community healthy. And if you have a little bit to spare, we'd appreciate it. If you have a lot to spare, we really appreciate it. And most importantly, we appreciate your time as well. So anyways, hi, welcome to Kirby. This game, I need to start off by saying there is flashing lights everywhere, so I don't remember if Kirby Superstar Deluxe actually, like, took the flashing lights and did away with them, or at least reduced them, but holy crap, the SNES version is bad. It's not Earthbound bad, or, like, say, Guardian Legend bad or something, or, you know, anything on the NES for that matter, but yeah, it's rough. Anyways, I will be doing 80% all main games. This is a category that is my personal differentiating of what the any percent categories are on SRC. Not trying to, that's why I gave the warning in front of this. Like, if you want to just listen to me hanging out and doing the run, that's also fine, because this game is flashy as heck. I did split the runs up because any percent is only 4 games, and the entire leaderboard is mixed with people that took any percent as a full run of all the games instead of just the 4 that you need to complete the actual run itself. It's a giant mess, and that's why I came up with any percent all main game. So yeah, here we are. And I need to go mute the music for a bit. It switched to Kirby's Block Ball. That's actually ironic. Anyways, here we are. I did a practice run of this last night. I'm not someone that normally does practice runs right before marathons because it actually throws my, like, complete mental energy off of it. And I ended up with like a 124, which is on the very high end of what I normally put out, and it was like really, really, really rough. But then again, if you saw the run that I did last night, you would kind of get why I was in a weird mental. Anyways, let's get this started, shall we? We've done the shoutouts to the reason why we're here for the events, the charity marathon and everything. We have talked about how jank the Kirby Superstar leaderboards on SRC are, but we haven't, like, really done the run yet, so, you know, let's go ahead and get started on that. And try to improve on that 124 I did last night. Because I think if I put out anything close to my PB, which is a 112, I would be really happy. Anyways, let's go 3, 2, 1, blast off. Spring Breeze, nice and simple. Even if you skip the tutorials, they're still gonna force them in your face anyways. And we're Kirbying. Kirby has a lot of powers in this game, some of which you may or may not see in other games. If you get damaged, you take life bar energy, which may or may not knock your power off of you, as opposed to something like Kirby's Adventure, where you pretty much lose your power every time you get hit. I thought you were gonna straight ball that, not Kirby, jerk. There we go. Poppy Sr. was actually, like, trying to be like the Yankees or something, I don't know. That was dumb. Hey, I'm playing badly, let's go. I'm not really a beam person, that's probably why I'm struggling a little bit. You don't need the safety one up, but take it anyways. Oh. First boss, Wispy Woods. Here's where seizures start happening. Hooray. Yay, seizures. So yeah, this is a pretty relaxed game. the difference between any percent and 100% largely lies in what you do in Great Cave Offensive a little later. I'm actually... Okay, you don't want me to skip you, I see. Great Cave Offensive can be handled one of two ways. One where if you get like everything, which takes a whole bunch of time, and then the any percent run, which is just literally fly through the slow section of the game. That's what I do. If I were to run like Hondo... Oh, okay, can we not break that, please? Ice is one of my favorite powers in the game. I do not care what happens to Helper. No, I don't want to make you invisible. They call me the Ice Queen in this game because my favorite powers are Ice and Mirror. You know, royalty is Vane, Vanity, stuff like that. But yeah, speaking of seizures, oh boy, we're going super flashing lights here on this part. This is how you deal with the stage 2 boss of Green Greens, is not feeding your partner. 3, 2, 1, boop. There we go. Sometimes your partner's AI will be so stupid, it'll immediately go and just straight up go after Lololo or Lalala, whoever's on the same row as you. And it's a huge problem, because when they hit the boss, it ruins the frames and gives them a little bit of iframes to dodge the crash, which auto kills them. So you end up having to do the rest of the fight there, and then you ended up wanting to blame your helper and, you know, kill your helper. I still want to do that anyways, because I would rather be helperless in this particular game when all possible. That room was okay. Oh, okay. And here's one of my least favorite rooms in the game. This is the Chicken Death Room. Chicken Death Room is named that because many bad things happen, like, you know, losing your ice powers. Great. That makes this entire boss coming up bank. Get out of my way. Alright, so we're gonna have to find something else to use. I think I already passed the mirror from earlier, so... This run's just getting worse. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. This is the power of Mike. Mike is our friend. For 3 uses, you get to be a giant pain in the butt and do a crap ton of damage. This is a 1-player run, by the way. You can do a 2-player run, which is also pretty cool, because Helper can do some pretty BS things. Can you... Yeah, there we go. Whoa, we're going full seizure. God bless. And that's why you don't have a helper. Yeah, you die for your sins. Okay, let's actually play the game properly and not die, and yeah. Did a terrible job at that. That fight was bad anyways. The helper was literally throwing my brain off the whole freaking time. I actually want those. Beam is one of those weapons you're like terrific at or you're not good at, and I'm in the I am okay at this category. Which I'm okay with this does not exactly like bring about all sorts of confidence or anything. I am definitely not a cutter user though, so this is slow. So yeah, terrible stage. Normally I would be done with the entirety of Spring Breeze by now. This is going to be like at least like a minute and a half behind, if not more. And the fact we have Cutter going into DDD is even worse. There's a few powers you can get out of here that might help. But we're gonna finish this, because otherwise we're just gonna fall further behind. Every time... Whoop, that was not meant to happen. Every time you hit DDD with something, he changes his attack pattern, and that's how you just stun lock him. But as you see with Cutter, he is iframing a lot of these, so... Okay, yeah, that's a minute and a half lost. Alright, we're gonna try to make that up somewhere else. Can't make it up in Amazing Race, though. Yeah, Amazing Race. Gourmet Race. This is very, very... I am going to have pretty much the same run of this every single time. So there's not much I can do to save time here at all. My time saves will have to come elsewhere. Either in, like, GCO or maybe, like... what do you call it? Milky Way or something. The DS remakes of Superstar Deluxe is really, really good. There is extra things that were added to it, and it's a lot of fun, and I do highly recommend it. So yeah, the whole plot behind Gourmet Race. Kirby is hungry. DDD is also hungry for some reason. They're gonna fight it out because, you know, two very, very hungry individuals are trying to feed things. Feeding things is good. Except for your ego. Feeding your ego is really bad. Winning the race will give you a big point bonus to finishing this if you're new to Kirby, so just run your butt off. Stage 3 is the exception. Stage 3 you get a few powers to help you out throughout the rest of the stage. I only take Wing because the rest of them are kind of bait to me. Like Jet is... You would think Jet would be good for the climbing sections, but like just button mashing on Wing is fine. And Wing is way better for horizontal movement anyways. I didn't mean to land there. Because that completely killed my momentum coming out of that section. If you feather your jumps like this, you can go really quick horizontally. Things that you cannot do with Jet, really. Jet is very, like, bursty, but that's very, very glide happy. There you go. Kirby hungry? That doesn't sound like Kirby. I didn't even hit 200. That was such a bad race. So this run will not be including Samurai Kirby or split second I am old people, I have bad fingers Kirby. So we're gonna go Cutter here actually. I noticed during my practice last night that I actually wanted Cutter for this particular stage one again. It does say win. It is very hard to lose Gourmet Race unless you are like having like the worst run imaginable. But yeah, Kirby Cutter Dash will be really useful for getting through this in a decent amount of time for this particular stage. I don't like having it for the rest of Dynablade because there's way better powers to be carrying into future areas, but for the stage one, it's amazing. Oh yeah, we're kind of just zooming here. As you can see, when you dash cut, like, no, I don't want to do that. When you dash cut, the frames that you can use to redo it are pretty small, so you can go ahead and just like fly, you know. Okay, let's go. Makes me wish I had Wing right there. That would be such an easy section. You would gain like a pretty solid amount of time there. Chef Kawasaki, go boom. And we're at the end of stage one already. Stage one, cannon, you want to go ahead and fire as little as possible, so that way you don't get a whole bunch of points. Pretty self-explanatory. Sorry, I had a Diet Dr. Pepper before this, and I'm trying not to burp on stream. That would be awful. But in my opinion, since you can cut through things... Oh, there we go. Having Cutter over a sword is the better dash runner. Because when you have... Can you not? Can you not? God, I hate helpers so much. Okay, let's focus again. Mirror is actually one of my favorite powers, because you can do a lot of damage mitigation by, you know, displacing yourself with the dash right here. Because enemies that will try to hit your hitbox will not hit you, except for rare instances like that. Sleep is a power-up you can eat. Why are you eating sleep? Like, the world may never know. I want to eat sleep too, I guess. Alright. You are going to keep this, I hope. I do not want to lose that. I will accept the hammer at the end of this section too, if for some reason this helper literally loses itself, but I would rather have mirror for the rest of the area, and potentially the end of the Dynablade run itself. Can you... something to keep in mind, if you are throwing your powers to recycle them, if a helper touches them, they turn into that power, so that would be extremely bad. At least for what I want. Because I am comfortable on Ice, Mirror, Hammer, and a couple other random powers, but yeah, there's just things in Dynablade that I don't want. You eat, you just can't... No, you need to eat, sleep, and combine the two. That's how you do it. That's the secret to success. And now we can take this back. This third stage right here is a really good reason of why you would want Mirror. That worked out great. There's a couple of crash monsters here that will basically just set off a giant detonation like that. And the fact that You're a jerk. The fact that I actually, like, deflected the plasma ball and just, like, completely wrecked the first one was actually, like, one of the best things that could have happened, I feel. Not much to talk about here, we're just spamming the dash and not losing that. I have no idea how I didn't take damage from that, but it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Your dash, or excuse me, not your dash, but your slide in this game can be used for a pretty solid amount of damage. Unlike in other Kirby's where I believe, like, just dash and slide kick don't do anything. Do I want that? Kinda do. I don't want that. Take a little bit of safety food here since I'm kind of below half. But with Mirror, it's easy to dash through that particular block set, but on ice, you kind of just slide through them instead. Otherwise, you're stuck in your animation of wanting to go into your freeze breath, which would be pretty bad. I was trying to be cool. Bugsy is extremely weak to ice, by the way. Like, it's not even close how much damage that does to him. You will literally, like, freeze him in, like, maybe 3 or 4 hits. It's ridiculous. You will, at minimum, hit the 7 mark every time. You have to deal with a little bit of point getting. Not the evil, fictitious points that don't matter. That's such a bad thing to get, right? As long as I have one of these 2 powers going in, I'll be happy for the final boss of this area. I say area, but you know what I mean. talking about like the final boss of this particular main game? Question mark? I don't know. I've been up for maybe like an hour or two. I haven't fully like brained yet. There are certain powers that will get you through that wall on the left to save time. I do not have one of them. Move. Okay, thank you. Stupid bird on. If you want to catch your firepower here and go up in the cannon and get yourself a little secret room, that's also cool. If you stay alive, you become my distraction tool. There you go. Perfect. Not perfect. I need that. I need that. Okay. That was really sus. I was not expecting something that potentially catastrophic to happen, but we got through it. Thank goodness. If I lost both ice and mirror here, we'd have a huge problem. In stages 2 and 4, there are secret exits that will get you access to little secret rooms where you can start going through, like, all of your Kirby's powers in this game, and you can just take what you want into fights. If you're practicing Dynablade, I do recommend that. Stay away from me. If he dashes into you, he will eat you and just launch you out for a bunch of damage, so don't get hit by that. Ice does a crap ton of damage. It's ridiculous. It's one of the best powers in the game easily. The grab is also pretty quick too if you launch people into walls, which is ironically what I'm looking. Oh, okay. Now you're just making it easy on me. That worked out very well actually. That was a small time save. Alright, so we are at the big bird herself. This big bird will straight up kill you. By the way, ignore the layout. This layout was done last night before I went to bed. And it hasn't been updated on my side yet. I will be continuing on after this with a different game. Yeah, that's what we ended up deciding on earlier. Dynablade is pretty simple with ice powers. You just jump into her. That was really easy. Actually, I might be able to... That one's... Me a tiny bit and I'll fix that on my end. Otherwise I'll go crazy thinking about it. What? That was not meant to happen. Oh god, that's the wrong one. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm bad. I am awful. Where the heck is this? Let's not think things on the fly, shall we? That's a great idea. There, this should be updated. That was hilarious, though. That was one of the best tech oopsies I've ever had. Alright, so we're definitely losing time now, but that was funny. That was funny, and I'm gonna laugh at it. A lot, actually. Alright, there we go. Now we're all caught up. That is not the game I want. That is the game I want. But yeah, we're just kind of chilling tonight, and we're gonna play some stuff together, and we're gonna have a laugh at how bad my tech skills are in a very hurried setting. I am someone that plans and updates things a lot, like, before things happen. And if things happen on the fly, that's kind of where I struggle the most. So yeah, we're gonna all laugh at that. It was good. Great cave offensive. We are not picking up any treasures. We are just kind of vibing and moving through it as fast as possible because this is not a 100% run. Even if you were playing any percent without playing all main games, you would still be skipping everything in here. Because you have to deal with all the getting cutscenes and stuff like that whenever you're getting an item in this mode, and it's a huge sink unless you're playing 100%. Okay. Sure. Yummy pancakes. It's as if you're attacked and nothing to me at all. Haha. Whoa. Just ninja our way past the cutter guy, and on we go. If you're gonna stay there and take it this time. You did. That actually worked out pretty well. Like, the thing you want to do is, like, dash kick. The thing you don't want to do is dash grab. Dash grabbing takes a lot of time. Move. That is better than losing the power in this section, in my opinion. Even though we're about to switch anyways. I don't care what happens to this power, so you know what? Haha. In before each boss section, you're going to have a little tiny room with a few powers to pick from, and then you will go ahead and have a tomato to heal up with. That was a great fatty whale one. That boss will be coming up twice more in this run. If you tap the brakes when you get into the cart and then tap them again, you get a speed boost off the carts. We will be doing that in every part as well. Yeah, getting the treasures is really cool to see what they actually put in the vanilla game. But yeah, since it doesn't have anything other than adding to the 100% value, it's whatever. It's supposed to be a treasure cave, not a cave of speedruns, but we don't care, smile. We like our speedruns, and that's how it works around here. Oh. Chocolate ice cream bar, yeah, I wish. I had my meal for the day, but it didn't have a dessert in it, so yeah. I wasn't willing to pay like $6 on a milkshake. It's kind of ridiculous. Alright, next boss is actually one of the simpler ones in the game. It is the first RPG battle. There are 2 more of these. The other 2 have the same 3 sets of mods. Oh, you're going for... Okay. That's cute. Also, the other 2 monsters will be on the right-hand side for that, and that is way easier to deal with. Why are you dancing? The witch is the recurring character throughout all 3 of these. I messed that up. So, between now and the end of the run, what I would like to do is, with any mod friends that are in the chat right now, if you can run like a poll and see what my final power for the arena is going to be, the options would be between Ice, Mirror, and Hammer. If you can put that up and let the chat decide, that would be amazing. I forgot to do that at the start of the run. Ice, Mirror, and Hammer will be our 3 powers that chat can vote from for our final run. I am comfortable with all 3 of them in Boss Rush, so it's just a matter of... I am going the wrong way. It's a matter of just which one we end up with. We skipped the entire castle section in any percent, thankfully, because that section is a huge slog otherwise. It's a giant loop around, and if you watch the tasks for it, I'm sure it deals with it well enough, but why in the world would I want to go in that castle? It's such a waste. Oh, that section went perfect. I didn't have to fight anything. Our cute little snowman friend. If you are unsure where the springs are, it's better to feather your jumps downwards so that way you don't accidentally get sprung back up and waste. And check it out, we're already at the final boss. This was a nice quick GCO, actually. I'm actually happy with that. It makes up for how bad the opening was. I missed the second hit. Sadly, I don't have any upward projectiles, otherwise I could have finished it right there. But that's still a very good boss, didn't get hit at all, didn't have to deal with any shenanigans, and the entirety of GCO is actually really smooth, so that feels like it's actually saved a bunch of time. So I would put us probably around even, I think, with that minute and a half we lost earlier. My PB for this category is 112. Like 112 something, I haven't remembered the exact number in quite a bit, but... That's done with GCO, so now we just have 3 more games left. These next 3 games are the slower ones though, so we're gonna go ahead and just start zooming. There's a lot of talking in Meta Knight, but it's a lot of plot. So, you know, everybody loves plot, right? I am really dumb. I need that. Meta Knight yo-yo is something you want to keep as long as possible, preferably until you have to fight the double Hammer Brothers. That would be the ideal amount of time of keeping yo-yo. Heavy Lobster 1 is a fixed time encounter that you cannot kill it in. Maybe if the task can kill it, I don't know. I know I can't as a human player, so. It gets blown apart anyway, so everybody wins. It's a draw. Everybody wins, everybody loses. That is the nature of the draw. They're going to Grape Garden first as you see them flying this way in the background. Can you literally not do that, Poppy? Oh dear god. I'm going under here. I don't want to deal with a mess up there right now. I need that. Oh. I need to not die too. That would be amazing. And yes, you can kill yourself if you hold on to bombs for too long, so be very careful with this weapon. Here. That was really close too. That was instant death right there. We're gonna have to actually be a little bit slow here. At least until we get to the tomato in here. We ignore that, because it drowns itself. You get a speed boost if you do that, it's pretty nice. And you got your first auto-scroller. Auto-scrollers are a good time to talk about donations. I have no idea in my millions of tabs where the donation tracker is. If there is any mod available that would love to let me know if there's any new donations in the last hour or so, I would love to hear that. I don't remember what the rocky enemies are called, but we need to move a little bit faster. That auto-scroller will kill you. Very, very careful with that. Sadly, we lost Yo-Yo, so we're gonna have to deal this the slow way. Alright, joke's on you. Wispy Woods is actually double Wispy Woods. But they share one life bar, so it's whatever. Alright, so we're definitely making up for a little bit of lost time here since I goofed the beginning and we lost Yo-Yo pretty quickly. Yo-Yo is a great traveling power. The average power of it in terms of combat is like middling, but it is great when it comes to being able to just like literally spin right through every one of these things. Okay. Sure, I guess. I want that. You do something. Get away from me. Both of those things can damage you, even the apple if it's on the ground, so just raise both of them. Sure. That's why I hate helpers. I could have used that block for a lot of damage. Sure, you show... Okay, never mind. You show off the thing that happens whenever you have a helper that is near death, which is... The helper will go ahead and morph into what it touches, and it refills its life bar that way, which is pretty nice. If you are a copy helper, which is way better... Here. You take that damage. The copy helper, you can literally throw your power away with A, and immediately grab a different copy, and then refill your life bar that way. Two-player is actually a lot of fun in this game. Helper is really busted. Also, speaking of helpers, if you just hold down the A button to warp back to Kirby, you can literally stay inside Kirby as a warp star, and it'll just be in Kirby's background, and you are immortal to all damage. So that's how you deal with a two-player run, basically. If you're in a section where the two-player would actually be really bad, you just hide yourself. It's really, really cool. Nobody really ever talks about it because nobody really plays two-player in this game, but it's got a really fun two-player to it. The AI, however, is god-awful, so just, yeah. And there's our girl Dynablade again, who is now forgiving us for beating her up earlier. And she has offered to give us a ride back to the ship. Unfortunately, she's taking a lot of damage and needs to leave. I need to get rid of that. You stay away from that. If you touch fire, I will literally scream. Helper AI is very like, shiny thing on the ground, let me go turn into that. I'm like, absolutely not. Fire is a power that does decent DPS, and the dash isn't too bad. But compared to ice and the utility of this, I feel it's just the worst power. Besides, being able to freeze projectiles and enemies both is a huge value to it. Plus, you can't really grab people and throw them in fire as opposed to ice. You're supposed to die, but okay. That worked great. Lots of damage. Lots and lots of damage. You see why I enjoy ice so much? Not only is it an element that I would actually, like, use in any sort of, like, MMO or video game that requires you to, like, pick which element you are, but it's just like, this has so much potential damage in this game, it's ridiculous. I don't think it's as cool as, like, Laser and Adventure, though. Laser is a lot of fun. You want to kill one of these, preferably Sumo first. There we go. That worked out pretty well. I'm still gonna take the safety heal here, though. Actually, wait. No, I don't need to. No, I want the 1-up. Or the candy? I want to not die first. That'd be great. Alright, let's go down here. Ah! Either candy or 1-up. That's a tomato and a candy. Okay, that's what I thought. Be very careful tapping your way through this particular section. Combo cannon does a... Okay, you weren't supposed to grab me there, but sure, I guess, game. Combo cannon does a lot of damage, so we wanted to get rid of the base cannon first. We're still okay. There we go. Still okay. But getting rid of combo cannon takes a lot of the damage out of the fight and makes it to where you're just basically playing don't grab me and it's fine. Laser. Sadly, lasers in this game only give you beam, which, you know, is depressing, but beam is better than nothing on some of the time. I'd rather just keep this, or literally a lot of other powers over beam, though. I would say in the bottom half of abilities in this game that I don't like. Or will use only if I have to. Good. In case you lose your ice, here you go, here's another one if you need. It's a very RNG fight. Sometimes you get really good patterns and sometimes he just wants to stall by dashing into you. Alright. Now we're in the ship again. Better to dash through that with your foot instead of actually trying to freeze that. Yeah, it's Kirby's loss. We'll go ahead and, you know, call it that. A lot of the reason why I'm taking damage by running into things is missed inputs, basically. Missed inputs for me trying to actually, like, jump into the air and spin freeze instead. That's generally where most of my hit damage comes from. That's bad. You can also just kind of like guard your way and just let it push all the way through everything. And you usually won't die. But I've never tried that before and I don't feel like risking it. Not considering we lost a life earlier. Oh, whoa. Okay. That will also kill you if you scroll upwards and you're not there. I literally stopped to freeze and the game took it as a dash. That's really jank. Heavy Lobster 2, that was weird for an interaction, but it worked out. Time for a secret area. Secret area is cool because you can get a candy that'll take you to the bottom half of the ship pretty quick. It's nice that they gave the entire crew of the Dynablade... Or wait, what was it called? I forget what the ship was called. They gave the crew its own personality with like all of them. And it was like one of the nicest things they did for the lore, I feel. This section handles way better with Yo-Yo than anything else. Because Yo-Yo, you can skip this entire right elevator with it. Or anything that can pierce walls. Which Ice cannot. That's one of its actual weaknesses. Grabbing the safety one up here. This run's been kind of weird. I don't want to lose it. Speaking of losing the run, we have passed the Room of Death, which was that room with the sumo and the Poppy in it. Because ninjas in that room have killed me far too often during runs before and kind of just ruined the entire run that way. Alright, so it wants you to take bomb here to deal with the cannon for laser right here. Oh, whoa. But you can also just deal with this by freezing it well enough. This is also fine. Your priority, however, is dealing with the reactor, of course. This will just take a lot of lag out of your screen once you kill that, and a thing that can actually kill you. Pretty easy reactor core one. We'll be seeing that again, though. The ship is actually starting to explode now, so they call the evacuation, which means you're still on it for some reason. It is probably a better idea to evacuate, wouldn't you think so, during normal circumstances? Yeah, me too. Kirby's hungry. Kirby's hungry and it's an auto-scroller, why not? Sleepy freeze, whoop. Okay, that just happens sometimes. That was out of my control. Sadly, that means we lose the best power for this, so we're gonna have to take Yo-Yo again. I don't think there's really anything I could have done to have actually controlled what happened there, so that's just an unfortunate circumstance. But that's what the safety one up is for too, so you don't go into Meta Knight with only having like 2 lives, you know? This makes me wonder if this is going to turn into something like yesterday where I need to go ahead and resubmit this for Retrothon later this year and actually do another revenge run of this, because this is going pretty badly too. This is not going as badly as last night though. Last night's practice run was even worse than this. But at least I kept ice through that section. Fun. Oh. That's not what I wanted to eat. But yeah, yo-yo throws are actually really good. They are very underestimated in terms of overall power level. And now for the most difficult thing to do in this game. And not having your helper immediately go touch it. That is the hardest part in this game. Sword is not one of my favorite things to use, so I will not use it. Whoa. I was a little bit too close to touch you there, buddy. Surprisingly good Meta Knight compared to yesterday. Yesterday's was not smooth in the slightest, and I was on a better weapon at that time too. I think my runs this weekend for this have balanced out. So now we are in the final escape of the, I think it's Airblade? Again, I do not remember the ship. The final escape, if you run out of time, you're dead, or if you fall into a pit, you're dead, or if Meta Knight just keeps trolling you, you're dead. You basically can't die unless you fall in a pit here, but, you know, just be careful. Or if you miss that jump there, that jump will also kill you. You are being an asshat. Okay, final main game that is not the boss gauntlet. Milky Way Wishes is a very relaxing experience. Why? You'll see. Right now. On our very first planet of Floria. We changed the seasons to move around this map. There are plenty of dead ends unless you know how to manipulate the seasons right. But more importantly, we have these pedestals. These pedestals will allow us to keep any power that we take off the pedestals permanently for the rest of Milky Way. I only am going to be taking a couple of these because there's only a couple that I actually need. I'm taking Ice. Mirror I can live without, but I take anyways because it's, you know, part of my character. And then we'll be grabbing Hammer here a little bit later as well. Fighter's like down there if I remember right. Each planet, except for the hidden star, which has copy, each planet will have about 2 to 3 powers on average. Okay, that was weird. Interactions are strange. Did I skip this and miss? Yeah, I messed this up. You're supposed to stay winter until the second door. That was my fault. Now I can just move on through. Now we go back to autumn. I just did this last night too, and I completely didn't space on the door. Free. Yeah, close range ice is a stupid amount of damage. Close range fire is also a pretty solid amount of damage too, don't get me wrong. Alright, so that's the first planet completed. We need to activate the fountains in all planets in order to engage in the final boss. Aquilus is pretty calm by nature. It's mostly swimming. With a name like that, why wouldn't it be? Okay, buddy, you can pop that right. That went perfectly. Let's go. Oh no, whatever will I do without my power? So actually another thing I neglected to mention in Milky Way is like characters do not function normally. If you try to eat a character that has a power on it normally, it's not there. You have to find the pedestals for them. The pedestals are fixed though, so you can go ahead and just slide right on through. Buddy, shame on you. That should have died after 2 hits. Oh well. There's more than enough food in this game, so... That section is a maze, and the beam power-up is in there if you really want it, but I have no use for that. Here comes Fatty Whale 2! Oh, and I dashed into that wrong. If you can manage to freeze rocks here too, or literally spit through, that's also amazing. Jeez. Nice kick. Nice ice kick. Did a crap ton of damage. We love to see it. Pretty decent Fatty Whale too. Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. By the way, the hidden star for copy is right here. Right above where this third planet is. Sky high, you get things that you would expect for like movements. I believe wheel, wing, and jet are all here. So this is your movement tech planet if you want to use any of them. I am going to skip that part. These freezies are generally a jerk. See what I mean? That worked out pretty well, though. Alright, so this plus that plus that. There we go. Another one of the powers is in this maze here, but it's definitely not at the end right here. You can look for the other, like, glittery star door like that, and that's where you'll find the other one. You know, just because you're invincible doesn't mean you have the frames to, like, not want to deal damage with them. Silly, silly Kirby. The back half of the planets are longer, it feels. You have very obvious things like fire here, but there's also at least one other power here that I can't remember. I never grab it, unless I'm doing Hondo. Okay, whatever. Joke's on you, game. This is Milky Way. That doesn't matter in this light. There's no way to dodge damage there. Not a single bit. Invincibility candy makes your dash go even more zoom zoom. It's great. The Especially on freeze. Holy crap, look at us go. That was wild. It's one of my favorite texts, is just zoom through all that. I want to go through the bottom part because the minecart will cause the lava to fill up the bottom, and that would be bad. Walking through lava is generally not something you want to do, nor would walking on Lava-chan. Lava-chan is just really nice and doesn't want to be walked on. Imagine a world where people don't want that. Those things get really pissed off whenever you hit them. But if you're quick enough when you turn around, you can just one-shot them. Safety one up on the left side, don't need it because I have 6. Melee Arm 1. You see this boss for the first time in Great Cave Offensive if you do the castle section. Why in God's name would I do that? Is the real question. Oh, that's pretty funny. I think I may have missed that particular part though, because I woke up pretty late and I woke up in the middle of the Spyro run. I woke up and I thought I had overslept because my body was like, hey, you need more sleep. Here's 3 extra hours you didn't want. I was going to play our next game for a little bit with a friend of mine before that, and now that completely went out the window because my body's like, no, sleep. I hate sleep so much. I just want to do things forever and not get grabbed by a frying pan. Great too. I wonder what power comes next. Wow. You're showcasing that very well, but I'm skipping. Don't need it. I will never want to swap to bomb because I want to have little things to swap through as possible. 2 hours of sleep? I mean, those are called naps at that point. Like, I've been averaging, like, somewhere between 3 to, like, 11 or 12 lately. But I've also been recovering from illness too, so, you know, kind of the thing. So you have infinite hammers in KSS during Milky Way. Guess what you get to abuse for hilarious amounts of damage? And I meant hilarious amounts of damage. Because hammer throws and hammer uppercuts are probably the 2 strongest single hitting target abilities in the game. You're not spin into me, dude. Great. As long as you're getting enough to where your body is functioning, that's good, but I would recommend getting more. By the way, I haven't seen the poll go up, but you have the opportunity to pick what my final power for this run is going to be. It's either going to be ice, hammer, or mirror, so get your votes in chat, and we will figure it out when we get there. Ow! That was way too far to the right. And if nobody picks, then I'm picking. And that's not as fun. Smile. You have a couple more plans to pick it. Alright, Mecha is the second to last planet. We're gonna just try to vibe through here as much as possible and not engage in too many monsters. The yo-yo power is here in addition to plasma as well, which plasma is hilariously good if you are willing to spam through it. Yo-yo is right there, which makes this next section really easy, but I'm gonna skip that too. Ice doesn't penetrate walls. Yeah, you're definitely meant to have yo-yo right there. We're gonna go up 3 and to the right. Plasma is in the very top floor on the left-hand side. That much I do remember. It's one of those powers you want to get for fun anyways. The damage on it is also not bad either, except for like maybe RPG fight. That is the first time you have trolled me in a while. Sure, you keep telling yourself you hit me there. Good for you. What did that get you? Last planet. Get your votes in chat for the final power of this run. Your options are ice, mirror, and hammer. If you want to see me bonk things with a hammer, if you want to see me freeze things to death, including final bosses. Grabbing food. Or if you want to see me like literally mirror dash through absolutely everything and do way too much damage that way, that is also a thing. So get your votes in now, chat. I'll take a mental tally. Boop. I'm grabbing mirror here purely because it's character related reason. Almost died doing it, but that also happens sometimes too. So. You need hammer or stone to make this really work without backtracking. If you want to just fly through that on a minecart, you can too, but I don't. If you want to waste a bunch of time navigating yourself through a fly maze, here's your chance. Right? There's a one up there just to like give you a proper teaser of what you want to do for that, but that is not what I meant to do. Get the heck back here. You kind of just ruined this fight for me. Oh yeah, you definitely ruined this fight for me. That was supposed to be a 2-shot and leave. That's what was supposed to happen at the beginning of that. Would you move, you fat? Oh my god. Ninja is right there under that bomb section if you want that. That's like the final power in this particular run that is able to be gotten from a pedestal. Unless you went and missed copy, which is also easy to do. $160 per turn is the best thing you can really do in this particular game. That's so little XP compared to the last ones. What the heck, game? I've already had fever points, but at least we got the lucky number 4 for love points. I had fever points earlier this week. That's why I stayed home and had to order in a fair amount of the time. Alrighty. Here is our final section for Milky Way. It's an auto-scroller, but it's a shmup stage, and let me tell you something, you are very, very fragile if you run into things or get shot, so be extremely careful here. You can only survive about like 4 hits or so getting shot at or touching things. You can graze something and it'll only deal damage, but obviously you will get probably blown to heck if you run into things too hard. That is lucky as a grazing hit. This will be the life bar you also take into Marks 1, so yeah, try to keep as much HP as you can. I am still taking notes from chat. If you want to go ahead and pick the final power of the run between Ice Hammer and Mirror, please do so now. It will be a majority vote, because democracy. Heart of Nova one's pretty simple. You skip the number 5 so that way you can go backtrack and finish through it. Because after a certain point you will get pulled in reverse, and number 5 is what you would rather like cycle backwards through instead of the ones after. I believe I'm still on Hammer. Which Hammer and Marks is okay at best. Probably not what I would want for my final option, but it's good for everything else in front of Marks. A lot of jump spins. Okay, buddy. The first half of this fight is fixed in terms of what his AI pattern is. After that, he can't. Is he? Here's where he starts to change things up a bit. Freeze bomb. Not a bad Marks 1, actually. Once you see this screen, it's safe to reset. And we will get our final game going. Since nobody picked anything, I'm gonna pick my own pal. Which I think for this run, we're gonna go ahead and do this because I did Iceland. Okay, dude. You're normally not that trolly with that attack, but okay. I got really bullied by Meta Knight there. Jeez. What is this? I can fight that without a tomato, but oh jeez, that took so much damage out of me. Yeah. Bugsy will also grab you a million times and do a lot of damage, so, you know, don't die. One of those is... yeah, I'll take one. DDD can be hard hitting if you run into them. One of those particular trash gauntlets is 3 characters deep, the other one is 4 characters deep. Good. That wouldn't have killed me, but still. That would have put me at like 1 health. Better not to risk it. Heavy Lobster 3. Oh, this is Heavy Lobster 4 actually. Aha! Caught your bait this time. Okay. I think Mirror Tech is actually exciting to watch for the final boss gauntlet. It's Fatty Whale 3. Very clean Fatty Whale 3. That's the last time you see that in the entire game. I've passed my PB, but I'm still gonna finish kind of strong here, I feel, compared to what the shenanigans of the rest of the game's done to me. I missed. Double woods is easy. We're gonna go ahead and cheese this because combo cannon with mirror is actually kind of easy. The first time combo cannon fires the laser part, it will not try to push you into the laser. Everything else it will. Lag. There we go. Now you can just cheese this because you can actually just literally tickle from the bottom of the hitbox. Let's go. Ah! Okay, so Dynablade with double ice options. Ice in Dynablade is pretty easy. Like mirror with Dynablade is also pretty free actually. Okay. Because you can block all her projectiles, it's just a matter of not running into her. Or getting grabbed. Or having that dumb stuff happen, but... Drop down. Flyby. Flybys can still damage you, be very careful. I still got hit there? Are you kidding me, game? Yikes. Reactor Core 2, same as the first, except we have really bad ways of getting hits in on this thing. Oh. I actually shielded that, but sure, you wake yourself up. Weird reactor. I think we're going towards like a 120 here or so, which is better than last night at least. Definitely not my best, but absolutely not my worst. It's low, 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 and la, 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 too. Sure. It's funny that the death of one of the partners does not cause the other to go berserk. And here's our most powerful combatant in all the arena. Powerful more so than anything else because he's cute. The double hammer option. Like, those powers that you get on the side in between intermissions are randomized, so it's just funny when they roll two of the same thing. RPG 3, same as 2. You don't take damage from projectiles as mirror in RPG, as opposed to ice where you take minimal damage for guarding. But it can still kill you, obviously. Not bad. Krako, that's... I mean, I could grab a tomato there and be perfectly safe, but... that would involve not taking risks. I would say this is probably the worst fight for mirror in all the bosses. But at least you can dodge lightning. We definitely take a tomato here, though. We had to take a tomato super early, so that was really unfortunate. Heart of Nova 2 is same as the first. Skip the number 5 in the reactors. And then hit it on the way back through. So otherwise it'll go back on that green one, then you just take a lot of damage. Because brushing up against things in Nova is extremely damaging. As I mentioned previously. Now we're past 120 and I still have 3 more fights left. Okay, we're probably on par where we were yesterday. Yikes. Considering all the stuff that happened this run, though, I'm not really surprised I'm this far behind, including the tech oopsie. Maybe we can hit a 124 again? Oh yeah, I think we'll be okay. This is the 4 boss gauntlet, though. This is Kirby Superstar. Super Nintendo, but also on DS as Kirby Superstar Deluxe, which added new things to this. Highly recommend Deluxe, it's so good. Perfect. Okay, we love those. That's no good. I need that. Having something random for marks would be potentially extremely bad. I would have had fire. That would have been awful. This might be a 123? Maybe. Mostly an aerial boss, though, so... Rod smack for days. Yo, you gave me free hits, thank you. Oh god. Not exactly the worst thing in the world to happen though. At least I think in Black Hole. Black Hole is like a huge amount of damage. But he didn't do that in either, which is kind of weird to me. 122. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take it because it's an improvement over yesterday. 9:05 arena time is okay, I guess. Could be better, of course. Could be better based on your power selection going into here, so you never know. Experiment and find what works for you. But yeah, that was all at Kirby Superstar. Coming up next is something I absolutely haven't been able to set up because this was brought on extremely late in the scheduling, so it's going to take me a few extra minutes of setup time. So please, like, stay tuned, and we will be back soon, okay? Looking forward to showing you all this, though. This is one of the things I've been completely encapsulated for like, my entire life these past few weeks. See you shortly.